What if I told you that one of the most iconic African American women in American history was almost played by Julia Roberts? No, this isn't satire, this actually happened. And the reason given, it was so long ago. No one is going to know the difference. This is the outrageous story of how Hollywood almost erased history and thought no one would notice. For decades, the big screen has been a powerful tool for shaping our perceptions of the world and its reflection of ourselves. From the heroes we celebrate to the villains we despise, the movies we watch weave narratives that can influence how we view history, culture, and even society's expectations. Unfortunately, the history of cinema is marred by a persistent problem: misrepresentation. Now let's take a look at one particular instance where Hollywood came perilously close to rewriting history. We're talking about the proposed casting of Julia Roberts in the title role of a legendary African-American abolitionist. Before we continue, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support means everything to us. Now let us dive into the fascinating story behind the scenes of what could have been a monumental blunder. In the early 1990s, the idea of a biopic based on the life of Harriet Tubman was making the rounds in Hollywood. Tubman, an extraordinary woman who risked her life to lead enslaved people to freedom. But Hollywood's vision for this important story didn't include a black actress in the lead. Instead, they had their sights set on Julia Roberts. The story of how this almost came to fruition is fascinating and infuriating. At the time, Roberts was on her way to superstardom after starring roles in films like Pretty Woman and Steel Magnolias. Her appeal was undeniable, and she was quickly becoming one of the most sought-after actresses in the industry. This made her the perfect candidate for Hollywood's casting couch. Enter screenwriter Gregory Allen Howard, a talented writer who had penned the screenplay for the film. He saw the project as a chance to highlight the life of an amazing woman who had been overlooked for far too long. But he soon discovered that there was a major obstacle in his way. As he recalled during a pitch meeting with a major studio, the executives loved his script but had one major casting suggestion. They wanted Julia Roberts to play the role of Harriet Tubman. When Howard inquired why they wanted a white actress to play an African-American icon, he was given a simple and disheartening answer. It was so long ago, no one is going to know the difference. Now let's delve into the heart of this controversy. What was the reasoning behind the casting choice? Why did Hollywood think that nobody would mind if a white actress portrayed an African-American character? And what does this say about the state of racial representation in the entertainment industry? The logic presented by these producers is nothing short of astonishing. The notion that no one would care if a white actress played a prominent black character because it happened so long ago is not only ignorant, but also offensive. It reflects a deep-rooted sense of entitlement and privilege. To believe that one's own perception is the only valid one and that others' experiences and identities are interchangeable is a testament to the pervasive nature of colorblindness. One has to wonder if these individuals would have applied the same logic to other aspects of Tubman's life. Would they have suggested a white actress with a Southern accent playing the role of Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, or a white actor playing the lead in Do the Right Thing? The answer is obviously no. Such a move would have been unthinkable not only because of the obvious physical differences, but also because it would have trivialized the very essence of the stories being told. It is precisely because these stories are deeply rooted in specific cultural and historical contexts that they should be handled with sensitivity and accuracy. Erasing or disregarding the racial identities of characters is not only disrespectful, but also perpetuates harmful stereotypes and reinforces systemic racism. Imagine if young minds were introduced to the heroic figure of Harriet Tubman through the lens of a whitewashed portrayal. The impact on their understanding of history and the message it conveys about the value of black representation would be devastating. It would send a signal that the stories and struggles of black Americans are not their own, but can be appropriated and altered for the convenience of white audiences. Now let's turn the tables and explore the flip side of the coin. If a black actress had been cast in the role of Scarlett O'Hara, the uproar would have been deafening. People would have accused them of reverse racism and demanded that the integrity of the original source material be preserved. This double standard exposes the hypocrisy and inconsistency that permeates discussions on racial representation in the entertainment industry. It highlights the fact that while there is outrage over the erasure of white characters in adaptations, the erasure of black characters is often met with indifference or even support. Let's shift our focus to the broader implications of this controversy. What does it reveal about the state of race relations in America? How does it reflect the ongoing struggle for equality and representation? When we talk about race relations in America, it's crucial to acknowledge the complexities and nuances involved. While significant progress has been made since the days of overt discrimination and segregation, the reality is that racial disparities and prejudices continue to persist in various forms. The casting controversy surrounding Harriet Tubman serves as a microcosm of these ongoing challenges. It exposes the deeply ingrained biases and the unconscious perpetuation of stereotypes within the entertainment industry, an industry that has historically had the power to shape public perceptions and influence societal norms. This incident also sheds light on the struggle for representation and inclusion. For marginalized voices, the demand for diversity in storytelling is not about appeasement or tokenism. It's about ensuring that all communities have a chance to see themselves represented authentically on screen. It's about recognizing that different perspectives and lived experiences enrich our cultural landscape and foster empathy and understanding among audiences. Hollywood has long been criticized for its lack of diversity behind the scenes as well as in front of it. The decision-making process regarding which stories get told and how they get told is often dominated by a small, homogeneous group of individuals. This lack of representation results in a skewed portrayal of the world and perpetuates a cycle of exclusion and misrepresentation. Now let's turn our attention to the potential impact of this controversy. Why does it matter who plays an iconic figure like Harriet Tubman? How does it shape our perceptions of history and identity? Casting an actress of color in a role that accurately reflects their heritage is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it provides positive representation and challenges harmful stereotypes. Seeing individuals from underrepresented groups excelling in their fields and being celebrated for their achievements helps break down stereotypes and creates more inclusive and equitable representation. Moreover, it matters because it shapes how audiences perceive history and identity. When we see individuals who look like us taking on roles that reflect our cultures and backgrounds, it fosters a sense of pride and belonging. It affirms that our stories and experiences are valued and contribute to a more accurate and inclusive portrayal of the world we live in. Furthermore, it's about acknowledging and honoring the sacrifices and contributions of those who came before us. By casting actors of color in roles that reflect their heritage, we pay tribute to the struggles and achievements of their ancestors and ensure that their stories are not forgotten or whitewashed. Finally, it's essential to recognize the impact on future generations. The entertainment industry has a profound influence on shaping young minds and perpetuating stereotypes. By promoting diverse and inclusive casting, we can create a better world for future generations by fostering empathy, understanding, and appreciation for the richness of different cultures. In conclusion, the story of how Hollywood almost cast Julia Roberts as Harriet Tubman is a stark reminder of the challenges that creators and consumers of color continue to face in the fight for equal representation and inclusion in the entertainment industry. It is a reminder that progress is not linear and that we must remain vigilant in challenging harmful stereotypes and biases whenever they arise. Now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this near misstep in Hollywood history? How important is it to have accurate representation in movies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with someone who might find it interesting. And lastly, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all our latest content. Thanks for watching.